Hello, and welcome back to Just Hoops. In today's video, we got our Player of the Week for you, Kemba Walker of the New York Knicks. Kemba had a phenomenal week this past week, and is bringing new life to both his career and the New York Knicks organization. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what he did that made him so valuable as a player on the court this week for the New York Knicks. Starting off with his scoring impact, but in particular, his ability to knock down shots from beyond the arc. As far as three-point shooting goes, Kemba shot 39.5% this past week, which is a really high clip. He showed an ability to do it off the bounce, off the catch, on the move, in transition. He showed his ability to shoot the ball at a really high level, which is necessary for the Knicks' success moving forward. His ability to shoot it at a high clip made him a really valuable player this past week. He's able to play off of guys like Julius Randle, play off of Evan Fournier, play off of Emmanuel Quickley when he's back in the lineup. Same with Derrick Rose. It gives him versatility in the offense. It's not, I need the ball in my hands and I need to create. It shows that he has new levels to his game, and that'll help him in the long term, and the Knicks also. As far as it goes for Kemba's game as an individual, if he's able to shoot the ball at this high of a clip consistently, it'll free up the rest of his offensive game. It'll force guys to get up into him, allow angles and the ability for him to use his handle to get by guys and get to the second and first level that we'll talk about next. But shooting the ball at a high level for Kemba is the first step for him to free up the offense, make plays, and just be a dominant force at this end of the floor where the Knicks need help. So now let's talk more about the second and first level scoring ability of Kemba Walker. So in the second and first levels, he showed a plethora of things that were opened up by his ability to shoot the ball. But let's start off with some stats. He averaged 26 points per game this past week with a 44-point performance against the Washington Wizards, along with shooting 41.3% from the field. He did it all offensively, especially from a scoring perspective. He was able to get downhill, get to the rim, finish with either hand, through contact, above guys with floaters. In the second level, he was able to attack closeouts, go 1-2 bounces into his pull-up. One thing that I think that he did a great job with this week was creating shot opportunities for himself and his teammates, which we'll talk about soon, but out of the pick and roll. He was able to come off screens, find angles, create space, get to his spots in the mid-range, or get all the way to the rim and finish. His ability to create plays for himself and others in the pick and roll will come up huge over time for the Knicks in general, and is a big reason why I think he did so well this week, is because he was given the ball in spots to do things that he's been able to do at a really high level throughout his career, both in Charlotte and in Boston. Was get the ball in his hands, use an angle, create space, come off of a screen, get downhill, and get to spots where he's comfortable at scoring the ball and making plays. So next, let's talk about how he made plays for his teammates. Kemba dished out 7 assists per game this week, and he had a triple-double game where he had 12 assists on Christmas Day versus the Atlanta Hawks. But as far as playmaking goes, he did an awesome job in the pick and roll as the primary ball handler at finding his teammates in all different reads. He was able to hit the opposite corner, hit the shake up behind him, hit the roll, hit the pop. He did it all at a really high level and understood where the openings were. He's one of the best pick and roll guards in the NBA. He's been hurt for a while, but before the injuries in Boston, he was phenomenal in Charlotte. He's just getting back and doing things that he's shown throughout his career that he's a really good player at. And one thing about his playmaking ability that I noticed throughout watching these clips and watching these games is that he has a pure joy about him when he finds his teammates and they make shots or make plays. This joy and excitement over his teammates' successes shows how much of a winner Kemba is at heart. He does whatever he has to do on a nightly basis to try to help his team get wins. And this is evident throughout all of these clips. Whether he finds a shooter, hits the roll, he understands when they make a play that he's just as excited as they are that they made it. He's flexing, he's jumping with the guy that he's throwing an alley-oop to. He's enthused and joyous around the game of basketball that it's just fun to watch on a nightly basis. This positive energy out of the point guard spot could be huge for the Knicks down the road. So lastly, let's take a look at how Kemba rebounded at a really high level this past week. I know that this is not a stat that Kemba is usually seen for or noticed by, but this past week, he did an awesome job at impacting the game at both ends of the floor on the glass. He averaged over 8 rebounds per game, which is insane for a 6-foot tall guard in the NBA. But a major reason why is they just brought the energy, brought the effort, did the little things at this part of his game that really could shift the tables for the Knicks down the road. He crashed the glass basically every time. If there was a loose ball that popped out, he was the one scrapping for it. He was being the little scrappy guard, taking it out of the big's hands. If it's loose on the ground, he was going for it. He was doing all the things that lead to winning. Like how I was saying with this playmaking, he just does all these things that he believes that could win him games. He doesn't care about the stats. He doesn't care about that. He's just trying to go out there on a nightly basis and win games for the New York Knicks. The big thing with the rebounding, though, that I found it very impressive for him being so small is that he wasn't afraid to get rough down there and get physical with people. He was blocking out. He was bumping with bigs. He was jumping. He was corralling rebounds with two hands. He looked like a big man out there with some of the stuff he was doing technique-wise. And I think as the season progresses, and if he's able to continue to impact the game at this aspect, it could just lead to more wins and more high-level play from Kemba Walker that the Knicks need for the long haul the rest of the season. Kemba has had one of the roughest starts to a season that I could remember in recent memory. He's been knocked out of the lineup. He's been back in the lineup. Now this past week, he was a huge reason in the Knicks' success, and I think a week like this could be a huge energy boost for both him as an individual and for the New York Knicks for the rest of the season, going into the tough stretch of January, February, and March before the playoffs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something about Kemba Walker and how he's impacting the New York Knicks this season. For more content, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys in the next one.